All right, so good evening, everyone. I can confirm we do indeed have quorum, Mr. Chair. I do want to confirm that I did receive regrets from Ludmila, Josh, and Reza. The other members will hopefully be in over the course of the beginning of the meeting, but other than that, I'm happy to turn it over to you, Mr. Chair. Just as a reminder to members, if you could keep your cameras on, especially during votes, just so I can make sure everyone is voting, that is perfect. But other than that, happy to turn it over to you, Mr. Chair.
Great. Thanks, Ian. Welcome, everybody. Councillor Chavez and Ostroff, your I think this is your first meeting. We had one in July that you unfortunately didn't make. So welcome to the Keefe Forum.
Just to clarify.
Sorry.
Chair. Last name is Shaves.
Shaves, thank you.
It's a soft CH.
Soft CH. I will be terrible at that, but you can remind me.
Thank you.
So I will call the meeting to order. This should be a quick meeting, I think. I'll need an approval of the agenda. Could I have a motion for that, or somebody put that up? Mr. Dakin, thank you very much. And a seconder. Thanks, Diane. Corrigan. All those in favor? Approving the agenda. That'll be carried. Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes. So hopefully all of you had a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting, which I think was really good. It was a great start. I think we had some great information that was passed on. So I can't comment on everybody else's portions of it, but does anybody have anything that they have seen that might be adjusted from those minutes of our last meeting in July? Yeah, sorry, Beth, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just near the very end of the minutes, it talked about, I made a comment about the waste and recycling. I think what I said was that the report only captures the residential. It doesn't capture the private sector.
Good. Ian,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll make those corrections before I post them. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Are there any other changes or notices? Okay, that's great. Could somebody confirmation, or could I have someone that would confirm those minutes or put that through? Beth, thank you. Rachel, maybe ask you to second that. All those in confirmation of those minutes? In favor? And that would be carried. Thank you. Are there any pecuniary interests, delegations, or briefings?
There are none, Mr. Chair.
Great. So we'll move on to the business. So we're here to look at the Kingston Community Climate Action Fund project selections. Again, hopefully as everybody's had a chance to read that report. Through you, Sullivan, will someone be speaking to that? I see Julie's there. So
yes, through you, Mr. Chair, Julie Salter-Keene will provide an update and an explanation of the report to the committee. Thank you.
Great.
Am I up?
You're up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and nice to see everyone here this evening. I'll just provide a quick overview of the Climate Action Fund and what's happened this year, and a brief review of what took place with our funding last year. So just a refresher. So the Climate Action Fund was established by Council back in 2020. So this is our 4th year of opening up the applications for the fund upon the selection of the project and then recommendation to Council. The public donation campaign begins on December 1st and runs to March 31st. We receive donations through Canada Helps, as well as we partner with the Kingston Community Credit Union, who match up to $5,000 in funds that are raised through their branches, which have been successful. Each of the 3 funding times we've gone through, they're a great partner, as well as the city itself matches up to $15,000 of those funds that are raised through the community. So this year we launched our campaign to receive applications, and we received the one application that's before you this evening. All Relations Land Trust. We, as a city staff, worked diligently to see if we could receive additional applications. I literally had my new intern reach out to 40 charities and organizations in the city to see if they're interested. Many were interested, but their capacity is just overwhelming, I think, for a lot of the nonprofits and the charities. So in 2024, I've been thinking of what we will do, and we're going to actually launch not the application intake in August, but we're going to launch a program in May to work with the organizations, so they can work on getting applications prepared, going to the board if need be, and really having everything in place so when it launches in August, they're ready to submit. So the one before you today, I mean, it's a great application. It's from the All Our Relations Land Trust. They're looking to install the ground-mounted solar powered to irrigation or solar panels that will help them with their well water. They're watering their well and their irrigation, as well as for the community garden itself. They do meet the eligibility that was established by council. I would confirm that they, under the Canadian Revenue Agency, for an organization to receive public donations, which we do through this campaign, they have to be either a registered charity, or if not, they could partner with, for example, they could partner with the City of Kingston, because we are a registered charity. The application before you, they are a registered charity on the Canada Revenue Agency website. So they do meet the eligibility. They wouldn't require to enter into a partnership with the city for that purpose. And upon their approval of council, we enter into an agreement with them where it lays out exactly what their duties are over the last 3 years. We've learned a lot in working with the organizations. We really put a letter of commitment with them. We provide them the collateral, like for social media and the graphics that they may need, but we really do need some input from those organizations because they're the ones that have the networking with their group. So we have put together a letter of commitment that we hope will assist them in receiving the donations that they have requested. Just briefly, last year we had the 3 projects at Frontenac Club Daycare Integration Program that retrofitted and installed heat pump systems in 2 of their buildings, spray foam installation. Sustainable Kingston that has purchased an electric vehicle. They're using as they do their energy audits throughout the city and community. And on Granada, they had requested, they were looking for funding to do electric wheelchair transport bike. Unfortunately, we didn't raise those dollars that they needed to proceed. And through our Canada Revenue Agency, with respect to eligibility and requirements, if you're receiving public donations, those donations were then moved to be shared between Sustainable Kingston and Frontenac Club. So individuals, when they do donate through Canada Helps or the credit union, they are advised that their monies may be directed elsewhere to the other projects if they don't receive the funding. So that has taken place. And we're happy that the electric vehicle's already been purchased and the retrofits are completed as well. And I think I'll leave it at that. And if there's any questions of the committee, I'll be happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you very much, Julie. That was great. Councillor Chavez. Did I get it right?
No. Consider with an S, spelled with an SH. So shaves. Something that you may do in the morning.
Great. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Just reading the report, for clarification, and Julie and I have spoken about this. The report does not state it's actually a charity, just a nonprofit organization. So either the report needs to be changed to show that, or they don't meet the criteria.
Julie, response?
Yeah, so yeah, on page 5, it does say that it's a registered nonprofit organization, so certainly doesn't use the word charity. The report would not need to be amended to correct that. The requirement would be that to be eligible to receive those donations, they would have to be a registered charity, which they are. And when we start our public donation campaign, we confirm those details with our treasurer when we set up the account numbers with the credit union as well as within our internal staff. So duly noted. And as we proceed with our communication campaign, we'll certainly ensure that we use the word charity.
Just that, especially with people that's not on this committee or the general public, they see the criteria and at first reading, they'll just see that the organization doesn't meet it because they're a registered nonprofit and not a charity, according to our documentation. So, okay, thank you.
Rachel has her hand up.
I think Mike was first, but
Sorry,
okay,
Mike, your hand was up in your blue sky in the background. I was just trying.
Thanks.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, Rachel. Through you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question was to Julie, was Onguanada not interested in reapplying to get funds for that project?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no, they were not. We
Okay.
did reach out to them and to see if they were interested, but they were not.
Okay, I'll go to Rachel next. Thank you.
my question was for the energy savings and the projection. Can the solar panels actually completely replace the generator? I was just wondering, with our climate or with the technology that's available, is it like a full elimination, or would they still have to have some use of that generator for a backup?
Our discussions with the organization is that they will not have the generator. They will solely use the solar panels, the solar for the generation of their electricity.
Beth, Ms. Sills.
Thanks for this report. I just had a couple questions on the budget there for Exhibit A. They just before the subtotal of eligible project costs, they have a install charge of 3,900, permit charge of 826, and then HST. But then the estimated cost line is only the 3,900. I was just wondering why that was. Maybe the permit charge and the HST aren't eligible. So that was one question. And then I was wondering, can they carry a contingency? Are they allowed to do that as an eligible cost? So just those two questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just pulled up the exhibit here. So sorry. So your first one about contingency, no, they cannot carry that for public donation. The second one was, I'm sorry, as I was looking for it, the permitting, did you say?
Yeah, it just looks like so in the line there, just before the 28,000 179 subtotal, it's 3,900, but it says install charge was 3,900, and then the permit charge was 826, and then plus the 13% HSC. But the sum to that line is only 3,900. So I didn't know if maybe they should have added the permit charge the receipt of that line?
So they use the $1,000 that they are receiving through the St. Luke's Anglican Church to go towards that fee.
Okay.
So in the funding from other sources.
Okay, okay. But it looks like the total project eligible cost then might be off. I'll just leave it at that with you. Maybe I'm not understanding it properly. I just thought they would have done the 3,900 plus the 826 plus the 3,241.
I'll check that to confirm.
Yeah, I would say there's also 324189 in that line or just below it that doesn't then relate to anything.
I can confirm the dollars amount, like before we post and to raise the dollars, we confirm the numbers with them with respect to that as well.
It's hard to see what the page number is there, but like 162 or something, does that?
Yeah, I have it in front of me, the exhibit.
Okay. So that line can be adjusted though, as is. Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Chair, Jessica Campbell has her hand.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. I was just looking at the scope of the project, and it says that when it says they're looking to eventually transition to using equipment that isn't gas powered, but I noticed that they haven't added within the project focus. They don't have anything about potentially buying those non-gas powered, I'm assuming like an electric mower and that sort of thing. Have you had any conversations with them to know whether is that something that they're also needed, and whether they could add that to the scope of their project? I was just thinking that given that we raised a lot more money last year than what they're asking for, that maybe they might be able to add that to the scope if it's what they need.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair. We did ask them that question. They didn't want to at this time. They really wanted to just focus on the installation of the solar and work with that with their irrigation. But in the future, they do plan to do so.
Okay. And thank you. This is really exciting.
Any other? Oh, got a couple more. Councillor Shades.
Very good. I just want to see if you can say my name right again. But all seriousness, just to further what Beth was saying, because there is a line there which it includes the funding source from St. Luke's, which lowers the total funding request. So maybe Julie can look at that as well, because it should be one or the other. Thank you.
Jacob?
What would be the metrics of their success in implementing the solar system? And is it going for a 3-year period, like the monitoring? Or how long is the monitoring going to go for?
So thank you, and through you, Mr. Chair, they are required to submit a reporting to the city after their first year of operation. Certainly, as a climate leadership division, we could work with them to ensure that they can report on a number of years reporting out. We work with a couple of the other organizations in helping them do so as well, to help support the success of the Fund for One and moving forward the campaign.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'd ask that someone confirms that the Keefe would support this project, and I guess it goes on to the next, or back to council, but that we will have a vote, I guess, in a second. But if somebody wants to move that Keefe will support the project. Jessica, and a seconder. Jacob. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Get back to my agenda here. I have to move all the way down and up. Through you, Mr. Sullivan, is there any motions or notice of motions, other business, correspondence?
None, Mr. Chair.
And the date of the next meeting is to be determined?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That's great. Does anybody have anything? No hands are up. Could be a world record, 6:22. Can I ask for a mover to adjourn this meeting? Councillor Osterhoff, seconder. Diane, thank you, Ms. Corrigan. All those in favor. Have a great evening, everybody.